Alrighty, hello and welcome everyone. Joined via Skype today, all the way from the Maldives, Mr. Irshaad Sayed. How's it going, man?
I'm good, thanks, Alistair. Thanks for having me on.
Fantastic, man. Only a pleasure. Just quickly, Irshaad, what's happening there in the Maldives, man? What you getting up to there?
Just out here with my wife and son. I'm taking a break, enjoying time, some family time. Yeah, but I mean, still training and getting things done.
Okay, good stuff. Um, Obviously, the main reason for our conversation is just to try and patch things up from your side. We had Demarte Pena on the show not so long ago, obviously
Yeah.
regarding the scenario which is entwined the both of you. Um, Obviously, it goes back to your guys' fight. Just talk us through maybe as the news broke with the Mart's doping scenario, what was going through your mind at the time? You came out quite strong on social media, obviously. Just just talk us through maybe what was going through your mind and what your initial thoughts were.
Uh, it was quite a mixed bag of feelings at the time. Um, One, I was upset that I found out so late after the test actually, came back positive. So I was upset. I could say frustrated as well. I felt cheated. I felt robbed. There's quite a mixed bag of emotions. At the same time, it's also quite motivating for me because it means there's a definite now that we're gonna get back in there and we're gonna go at it again at the even on an even playing field. And I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. Um, Obviously one of the bigger themes there from your side is the fact that you feel you were cheated. Do you believe and do you feel now that the Mart was cheating?
Um, Look, I listened to about the first 5 minutes of your podcast with him, and then I was getting upset and I turned it off.
Sure.
But the I couldn't listen to him, just blab on and play victim for 45 minutes. But the first 5 minutes that I did listen to revealed something quite interesting, which never came up in previous, online discussions and the report and whatever else came out. He said the reason that he got flagged was because his testosterone came back at above the legal limit.
Yeah.
Um, so to me, that was very interesting because um, he was on two or three, two testosterone boosters and one libido enhancing supplement. So obviously, by looking at the supplements he was taking, his goal was to increase his testosterone levels, which is a huge advantage for any athlete. Whether it's combat sports, whether it's running, swimming, whatever. Having a high testosterone level is a massive edge. In terms of your recovery time, your sleep, everything, your motivation to train. It's all, affected by your testosterone level. So he was clearly trying to boost his testosterone because of the supplements that he was using. So I mean, whether he was trying to gain a legal advantage by using these supplements or whether he knowingly used a supplement that was contaminated, I don't know, and honestly, I don't care. The main point here that I would like to get across is that he tried to gain an advantage. I've tested my testosterone levels during camp, and they were abysmal. Like honestly, it was like 75-year-old man low. Like you know, it was terrible. Like I mean, um, and that's because of the because of the volume of training. We train a
Sure.
lot, the intensity of the training, and then coupled with the weight cut, it's a terrible cocktail for your hormones. Like your my levels dropped, and you feel tired, and you lose motivation, and it's easy to pick up infections. It's easy to get sick. All these things are governed by your testosterone levels, and when you have even at a normal average testosterone, like a normal, normal male, it's if you could keep that level during a training camp, it would be, you'd feeling awesome.
Sure.
But I mean, he was not only above average, he was above legal, which means he was super high. Which means his recovery from training sessions is much better. He's getting better sleep. All these things are playing into his advantage. And it's not only about the night of the fight, it's about the whole 8 weeks leading up to the fight. This is where the advantage comes in. And, um, I've had some time to think about it, and I've known that you wanted to speak to me, so I put a little bit of thought into it. And when I kind of thought about it now, I realized that he actually had a massive advantage, going into that fight. That
Sure.
being said, I still don't think you. That being said, I still don't think you won that fight. I've gone back and watched that footage with no sound, and looking at the way the fight went, and who landed the better punches, the cleaner punches, and who was he was on the back foot. I still feel that I won that fight. So there's a lot. Um, there's a lot of speculation. You could say that had it been even on the night, I would have won that fight. But without that, I still think I won it, to be honest.
Okay. Um, just to pick up on there on the point you're trying to make is, I don't know, maybe
Yeah,
perhaps there's some people that don't really understand how the testosterone level works,
yeah,
especially in like a high intensity camp that you guys are going through preparing for a fight.
hmm
That we could say almost in essence after every training session your testosterone level plummets to the ground, and then you've got to try and rest and
yeah,
recover for that to recuperate. So basically what
yeah,
you're saying is that knowingly or unknowingly, from your point of view, he had these advantages with the testosterone levels through the complements of the supplement. I think we can all agree that it's
yeah,
come out now quite strongly that there was obviously problems with
yeah,
the supplement, but all of those things led to him having an advantage all through the camp. Um,
yeah,
to get him onto fight night, where, like I say, knowingly or unknowingly, he had these advantages to him with the extra testosterone levels. And I think
yeah,
his case has kind of reiterated that point as well. They've kind of said, look, you had an advantage. You were able to prove that you did all your due diligence, and you didn't try gain an unfair advantage. All of this was unknowingly to you. So that is the
Look, it's
yeah, sure, go
to
for it.
be honest as well. This just before I forget the point I wanted to make. It's easy to say that, To be honest, because I've personally emailed Sades 3 or 4 times, taking a picture of a supplement label and sending them a link to the actual supplement that I was, recommended to take by somebody, and they've come back on all, in all cases, they've come back and told me not to use it.
Okay.
And he consulted this one and that one and that, but at the end of the day, he didn't consult SAIDs, the people that actually are doing the tests. Why didn't he email them? Because I'm pretty sure if he emailed them the list of supplements that he was taking, they would have said no. I emailed asking them to use something that would help me for concentration. It was a natural supplement. It was a herbal supplement, and they've come back and said, we don't suggest that you use this because it could come up. It's very technical, but I mean, at the end of the day, the answer was no, don't use it. So I feel had he really wanted to get a clear answer from the right people, he should have gone to SAYS, which he didn't do. So it's easy to sit there and say, oh, I asked this person and I asked that person. But, if you ask the people that actually matter, I think they would have come back and said, no, you can't use this.
It's interesting.
He didn't do that. He didn't do that. So why didn't he do that? I mean, because I can go to my doctor and say, oh, blah, 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 and he can recommend I take this. And then, I can say I consulted my doctor.
Sure.
But, anyway, yeah, sorry. I
No,
kind
no.
of just,
No,
Yeah.
that's
What
perfect.
were you gonna ask?
No, it's cool. That's I think we've covered that ground quite nicely. My next thing was to ask you,
Yeah.
where are you now mentally? Obviously, it's almost like you've been given a second chance to get another crack at the Demarte Pena, which I'm sure you're quite excited about.
Yeah.
So where are you? Where are
Yeah.
you at mentally now with the Demarte Pena situation?
Mentally, I'm strong. I'd, I came back in my last fight, and I felt that fire. I felt that drive and that urge, and I really felt like I was back. I had fun in that fight. In the
Sure.
Demarte Pena fight, I didn't go out there and I wasn't myself. Anybody who's watched, you could even just go back and watch my last, I'd say, 5 fights. You'd be able to see that I wasn't really my aggressive usual self in the Demarte Pena fight. I let him off the cage too many times. I let him up off the canvas too many times. I just played it a little bit too safe, and I paid the price for it. And definitely the next time I go in there, I'm going to be a lot more aggressive, and you could even say a lot more reckless. But each time I kind of go out there and do my thing and get a little bit wild and a little bit stuck in there and make it a fight, I always seem to come out successful because that's where I thrive, and that's where I love to be. That's where that's the kind of fight that I enjoy. And when I'm in there enjoying it and I'm in the moment and I'm not thinking too much, that's when I'm at my best. And so definitely, in terms of my skill set, I have everything that I need to beat Demarte. The only thing that wasn't with me on the night was was my mind. And I've promised myself that I'm never going to get back in there and not leave it all in the cage. I, I'd rather lose a fight knowing that I went in there and gave it my all than go in there and kind of try to play it safe. It's not me as a person. It's not my personality. It's not how I do things. It's and it showed on the night, and it's disappointing, but I've learned from that, and it's I've vowed to myself and that I'm never going to get in there again unless I'm going in there to finish and going in for the kill, and it's going to be a noticeable difference when I get in there the next time with him.
100%. And just on that note, in my podcast with Demarte, he stated that
Mm-hmm.
once all the dust had settled and he had been reinstated, um, he mentioned that he told Graham that he was ready to go to fight you. I think he said in September in Cape Town, but you turned that fight down.
Yeah.
So could you just elaborate on that? As firstly, obviously, is that true? And if it is, why did you turn that down?
Oh, I'm sitting out here. I'm sitting on. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be honest. I'm sitting on the beach. I'm having some family time with my wife and son.
Sure.
I got to travel quite often. To do training camps and to fight, and it's not fair on my family as well. For me to be away all the time. And we've set this time aside for our family vacation long before EFC approached me to take this fight. And I've made that promise to my wife and to my son and to myself that we'll put this time aside for us, and no matter what comes up, whether that phone call came from Dana White or whether it came from Graham Cartmel, for me it doesn't matter because I made that promise to my family, and that comes first for me. So yeah, I did turn down the fight in Cape Town, but there's bigger things planned. I can't say what it is at this point in time, but EFC have plans to do something else later in the year, and it does involve Demarte Pena and I, and it does possibly involve. Oh, I'm not sure if I can say this if I'm going to get into trouble. It does possibly involve some sort of reality TV, so it could culminate in a rematch at the end of the year between Pena and I. So sometimes things look bad, but actually in the end it plays out better. So, and definitely if this all comes together, and from what I've heard over the last few days, it is coming together. It's playing out much better because it just means that the fight's going to get so much more coverage and so much more hype behind it, and you know, it's gonna it is the fight's happening, and it's gonna be later in the year. So
Okay.
yes, I did turn it down, but I had a valid reason.
Yeah, I think everyone can understand it. I think if I was in the Maldives, I'd also turn that fight down. So you're not going to be fighting Faiz Jacobs in the interim, eh?
No, he needs to win another couple of fights before he's allowed to, you know, open his mouth again. He needs to get through some quality opponents before he can start calling the shots.
Yeah, he's a spirited young man. I think
Yeah,
he's hard to get anybody in his way at the moment.
yeah. Look, when I was younger, I thought I was invincible as well, but you know, somebody's gonna put him on his place, and then he's gonna go back to the drawing board, and you know, he'll work harder. And as long, you know, for any young fighter, if they have the right attitude, you know, and they keep at it, they can go far. But yeah, let's see.
Cool. Irshaad, any last words? If you could say anything to Demarte Pena now, what would it be?
I'm gonna tell him that he needs to make sure that he's getting in there for a tough one. You know, I'm not gonna let him stand up. I'm not gonna let him off the cage. I'm gonna go after him. I'm gonna be head hunting big time. I don't care if I give up the takedown, because when I get back to my feet, I'm gonna be looking to take his head clean off his shoulders, and that is my one and only goal when I get back in there, is not to win the fight. I don't want to win the fight. I want to finish him. My goal is to finish him, and finishing him convincingly. And I know I can do it. I believe I can do it, and I will. You know, especially with a level playing field, especially with the field, he's gonna feel what it's like to get hit by another man. He's gonna go down, and I can tell you now that this fight is gonna be a lot more exciting than the first one.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about that. And Irshaad, thank you very much for giving up some of your time on holiday, man. We really appreciate it. And good luck and enjoy the rest of your holiday. And good luck when all of that stuff starts that you've mentioned, and eventually into the camp. But hopefully we'll chat to you a bit closer to the time when that fight gets announced and all is revealed. And thank you very much, man. Enjoy the rest of your holiday, man.
Awesome.
Thanks very much, buddy.
Only a pleasure. Thanks.
Thanks, man. Take it easy, Irshaad. Cheers, man.